Hello students, today I'll explain you the Indian Independence Act. First we'll discuss background. On June 3, 1947, the government of British proposed a plan which later came to be known as the Mountbatten Plan, as it was proposed by Lord Mountbatten. The June 3 plan, or 3 June plan, stated that the British government was in accordance with the partition of British India and that the successive governments would be granted dominion status. The plan was forwarded to the Indian National Congress, head of the Sikh community in India, and once the plan was approved by all the three factions, the legislation for the Indian independence by the then Governor General of India, Lord Mountbatten, and the then Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Clement Attlee, on July 18, 1947. The Indian Independence Act was sanctioned by the British Crown before being passed by the Parliament of the United Kingdom. And it was passed in the House of Commons. British Parliament has two houses: Upper House, House of Lords, and Lower House, House of Commons. The bill was passed by the both houses of British Parliament on July 1, 1947. They signed the bill. Next, the main provisions of the Indian Independence Act 1947. The first two new dominion status. The first provision stated that British India will be divided into two fully sovereign dominions, Pakistan and India, and that the newly formed dominions can form their own government with effect from August 15, 1947. The Act provided legislative supremacy of both the dominions. The territories of the two dominions were divided in such terms that Pakistan would comprise Sindh, British Balochistan, Northwest Frontier Province, the West Punjab, and East Bengal. India has to comprise all the remaining territories, including the British India. The exact boundaries of the dominions would be determined by the boundary commission. Second, provisions of partition. Both Bengal and Punjab would be divided if so desired by the people. The provision of the two parts would meet separately, representing Hindu majority districts and Muslim majority districts, and would decide through a majority vote whether they wanted the division of the province or not. Secondly, the plebiscite would be held in Northwest Frontier Province, as well as the Sylhet district, that is Muslim majority area in East Bengal, to determine whether they would like to join Pakistan or India. So both these provinces joined West and East Pakistan respectively. Thirdly, the Governor General of each dominion. There would be a Governor General who would be appointed by the British King on the advice of the Cabinet of this arrangement would work till the framing of the constitutions. Fourthly, constituent assemblies to serve as central legislatures. So, assemblies of both the dominions were to act as the central legislature and would have full powers to make laws for their respective dominions. They would act as sovereign bodies for legislative purposes. Fifthly, end of jurisdiction of the British Parliament. Means first, the legislative authority of the British Parliament would cease from August 15, 1947. Secondly, the title of the Emperor of India and the King of England were dropped from the royal style. Thirdly, till the new constitution was framed, each of the dominions and all provinces were to be governed in accordance with the Act of 1935. Fourthly, the Governor General was given the powers to modify or adopt the Government of India Act 1935 by March 31, 1948. Fifth, the right of the king to veto laws was given up. This right was given to the Governor General. Sixthly, fifth, princely states. Princely states would be powers exercised by the terminated. All treaties and agreements made by the British with reference to states 47, they would be free to associate themselves with either dominion or seventhly, treaties and agreements. With effect from August 15, 1947, His Majesty's government would cease to have any responsibility for the between the British government and the rulers of the Indian states would lapse. So agreements with the tribes of the Northwest Frontier Province were to be negotiated by the dominion concerned. 8. Division of the army and the assets. Provisions were made for the division of the Indian army between the two dominions, and steps were to be taken the assets and liabilities between two dominions. Ninthly, bringing the act into operation. The Governor General was vested with necessary powers for bringing the Indian independence into effective operation. Last provision of Secretary of State and interest of existing officers. So provisions were made for safeguarding the interests of the existing officers appointed by the Secretary of State. The office of the Secretary of State for India was abolished. So now we'll discuss about independent by an act of legislature. Legislation. Act 1947. The then Secretary of State for India remarked, the bill is unique in the history of legislation of this country. Never before a large portion of the world population achieved complete independence through legislation. So the act marked the end of the British rule in India. The dominance of India and Pakistan came into existence on August 15, 1947. Lord Mountbatten, on the request of Nehru, as the Governor General of India. He was the last Governor General of India. Muhammad Ali Jinnah became the Governor General of Pakistan. On 14 August 1997, on the eve of India's independence, Jawaharlal Nehru made a memorable speech in the Constitution. He said, long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time when we shall redeem our place. Now wholly or in full measure, by very substantially, at the stroke of the midnight hour, when the awake to life and freedom. It is fitting that at this solemn moment we take the pledge of dedication to the service of India and her people and to the still large cause of humanity. Lord Mountbatten remained in office as Governor General up to June 1948. Sri Raj Gopalachari succeeded him as the first and the last Indian Governor General. On January 26, Dr. Rajendra Prasad took over as the first President of the and the Constituent Assembly became the Parliament of India under the transitional provisions of the new Constitution. Thank you, children, watching this.